Now it's time to discuss my background in acting. I'm going to give you a quick summary of what exactly my background in acting was, and then we're going to talk about why it matters for you. Long before I ever even considered being a professional musician, it's a good spot for him, it keeps going up and down. I was an actor. I was a child actor. I was in television commercials, television shows, and films. And the reason that this kind of came about was because I was raised in the back of theaters. My father was an actor and a writer. My mother was an actress and a agent. My godfather was a very successful actor. And so after school, I would often go to the back of theaters. I would hang out backstage of the theater while they were getting ready for their show, or while they were doing the show, or after the show when they were getting packed up. And I was just around it. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the concept of if a child is raised in a household that speaks English and Chinese, they learn both languages, they're bilingual. I became bilingual in acting, in the craft of acting. And the craft of acting is primarily a study of the human condition. The actor's job is to find out why a person would say that. And that's it. They read the script, they have lines, and they have things that they need to do within a scene. And their job is to find out, one, why am I doing that? And two, how am I going to do that? That's it. The why and the how. Not the what. The what is on the page. The what's already been written. The how and the why is the actor's job. So, this leads us to the next question, which is, what is an action? The top one, not the bottom one. The action is the how. The action is the thing that you're doing when you are speaking the words. And I don't mean, hey, I'm going to pick up my cup of coffee and sort of tilt it to you to say cheers while I'm saying the line, like cheers. That's the action. No. An action is a verb. An action is something you do by definition. And for every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. The reason that you commit the action is to achieve the reaction. So, we're going to go all the way down to the bottom of this concept. Are you ready? You better be. First off, why do you do things? Take a minute and think about it. Pause the video and write it down if you want to. Honestly, it really will help if you take a moment, pause the video and write down, why do I do things? What do you mean things? I mean anything you do. Getting out of bed in the morning, going to the bathroom, getting a cup of coffee, saying hello to someone, saying goodbye to someone, saying excuse me. Every single thing that you do. Why do you do things? Why do you do things in the world that you live in? You do things because you want a result. Okay? You want a result. You want, for example, a cup of coffee on the table right here. If you're sitting on the couch and you don't have coffee, you want the taste of coffee in your mouth. You feel like, I want a coffee. I know this is base. Follow me through it, okay? So why do you get up out of the chair? To walk across the room. Why do you walk across the room? To make the coffee. Why do you make the coffee? All of these things are because you want the taste of coffee. And why do you want the taste of coffee? Because when you get the feeling, when you get the response, right? You have an action, right? The thing that will happen at the end of the actions you're taking is that you will get the response that you want. And the response is, I want coffee. I want coffee in my mouth and in my belly. I want the feeling of coffee. That's why you do that thing. Everything you do is to get an outcome. And whether you realize it or not, you do have a conscious outcome that you're trying to achieve. It might not be a positive one, but there is an outcome that you're trying to achieve. Otherwise, you would not do anything. That is why you do things. So now, why do you say things? Why do you say things? Anything at all. You say things because you're trying to get a reaction from the person. Now, this might sound obvious, but there are many times when you just don't think about this. Most of the time, you don't think about, I want this thing, I'm going to say this so that they do that. It really is quite instinctive. It's very subconscious and instinctive. The job of the actor is to figure out the real reason that someone is saying something. Not the surface level reason or the immediate reason, but the deepest reason possible, because the deepest reason has the most to work with. So an action is a doing word. Remember, it is something that you do. It is a verb. Okay? An action is a verb. So if we were to, for example, have the line, I hate you. Okay? Simple. 3 words. Pretty simple. As you can tell, the top actor and the bottom actor are saying them very differently. You can probably hear the tone in your head of how he's saying it. Right? And the reason is because the action is different. What they're trying to achieve, the reaction they're trying to get from the other person, the reaction that they're trying to get out of the other person is different. So they have to say it differently. The line may be, I hate you, but the way that they say it will be different, right? So let's say, for example, 2 actors have the same line, but they have 2 different actions because they have 2 different objectives. They want a different reaction to come back. So they're going to do it in a different way. They're going to say it in a different way. They're going to choose a different action. The verb, the action that they choose to use, the action will be different because they want that result. So, for example, the top actor's choice could be to destroy the other person, to decimate them, to make it so that they have nothing left and the conversation is over. I hate you is said in a way of, this is the end. This is the final straw. I'm done. We can never come back from this. Whereas the one on the bottom may be in an attempt to continue the conversation with new information. He doesn't want it to be the end. He wants it to be something that leads to another thing rather than an ending. Okay? Other versions of actions for this particular thing could be, for example, let's say he wants to end the conversation. His objective is, we're done with this conversation, we're done with this relationship. This is over, and you are going to know it, and my intent is to leave you with nothing. So I'm going to choose the action that destroys you emotionally, that gets that emotional reaction so that you stop fucking talking to me, and you stop putting this shit on me, and you stop dealing with this. One is to destroy. The other is to drive the dagger in, which would be slower and which would be more precise, maybe because he knows that that particular move is what's going to get that reaction out of her. To reveal would be a totally different action, as if maybe he knows this is coming out of left field. None of this has ever been said before, and he is revealing this information for the first time, knowing this is going to be the end of the conversation and the end of the relationship. And to kill is just a different variation of destroy. Okay? So for example, if you have to destroy, and this is an example, I'm going to give you the example now. To destroy and leave the person decimated would look like, because I fucking hate you. If you wanted to drive the dagger in, it would be the same, but it might be more along the lines of this. Because I fucking hate you. If you wanted to reveal, you might be doing something like this. Oh, it's all this, oh, it's all that. There's all of this going on, and there's that going on, and there's something else going on in the scene. It's all because I fucking hate you! I fucking hate you! And he throws it out there, and it's a different action to reveal. Okay? And to kill, it's nice. It's cleaner and simpler because I fucking hate you. It's not quite as intense, but it's because I fucking hate you. Let's get it over with and done. Let's finish this. Kill it. Every single action has different variations, okay? The ways that you can go about it dictate the way that you say it, and the choices that you make and the way that you say it, those choices are made because you're trying to get a reaction out of the person. You choose to do it differently because you know that that will achieve the reaction that you want, and then you will get the energy back. You will get the response that you want, whatever it is. That was a bit intense, wasn't it? Well, if you'd like to see how Tom Hardy would say the line, click the thumbnail to go over to the next video.